This is lesson 1-5 continued, and we're going to learn about inequalities with infinitely many or no solution. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to distribute the -2. We have -2 groups of 4x minus 2, which is going to be -8x, and -2 times -2 is +4. It might be a little confusing, so if you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll go over that. That is less than -8x plus 4. In this instance, you may notice that this side of the inequality is the same as this side of the inequality. Well, can something that's the same be less than? Let me say that again. Can something that is the same also be less than? In this case, the answer is no. Because they're the same, and we have this less than symbol, there is no solution to this inequality. Because no matter what number I put into x, the left side of the inequality will never be less than the right side of the inequality. For part B, again, we're going to start off with distribute. We have -3 groups of 2x plus 1. So that's going to be -6x minus 3. Bring down the less than, bring down the -6x minus 5. Okay, so look at the -6 here. Because the -6 are on both sides, we can cancel them out. Boom, boom. Then we have -5 is less than -3. Is that true? And we could have done that on the other one too. So let's go back and do that. If we were to cross out the -8s, the -8x's, that would say that 4 is less than 4. Well, and that's never true. But in this case, -5 is always less than -3. So it has infinitely many solutions. Write expressions as inequalities. Write the inequality, solve, and graph it. The speed limit is less than or equal to 55 miles per hour. All right, so the speed limit, we'll say S, is less than or equal to 55. And all we have to do is graph it. So we're going to graph this. That's an S. Maybe I should have used R, but that's an S. And we're going to put it on our number line at 55. And then we can go 54. We can do 53. We can do 52. But if we go above 55, we're going to get a ticket. Okay, so since it is or equal to, it has a little line underneath, we're going to use a bracket and we're going to point in the less than direction. Or you can use a closed dot to say that yes, it's okay if we go 55 or less. Either arrow is fine. For this inequality, 2 less than 3 times a number is greater than 4 minus 3 times a number. All right, so the first thing we'll start with is the 3 times a number, because the 2 less is going to come after that. So 3n, and then we have minus 2, because this is 2 less than that, is greater than, so is greater than is this symbol. So greater than 4 minus 3 times a number. So 4 minus 3 times a number. (3n). Now we need to solve it. We have variables on both sides. So I'm going to bring the minus 3n to the other side by adding it. The minus and the positive cancel, but the two positives, 3n plus 3n, becomes 6n. Bring down the minus 2, bring down the greater than, bring down 4. Now it's just a two-step inequality. Add 2 to both sides. The 2 and the negative 2 cancel. Bring down 6n, bring down greater. 4 plus 2 is 6. The next step is to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is just n. And the greater than stays greater because we divided by a positive. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Then we're going to graph that. And you have the pleasure of being with me and my dog, so you have to get to hear all of these fun sounds that they make. So n is 1. We're going to put that on our number line. We're going to put a few numbers above, and we're going to put a few numbers below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, -1, -2. And when I graph it, it's going to be at 1, and I'm going to use an open dot, or I'm going to use a parenthesis. Before I choose which way my parenthesis goes, I want to look at my inequality symbol. And since it's greater than, the arrow is going to point in the greater direction, so my parenthesis should be a forward C. Solving problems with inequalities. Janet runs 4.2 miles per hour. If she wants to run at least 2 miles, how much time will she need to run? Let's start with our DRT triangle to help us with this. We want to know how much time she will need to run. So this is what we're looking for, T. So we're going to do D over R to figure that out. She wants to run at least 2 miles. That's going to be a distance. Her speed, or her rate, is 4.2 miles per hour. Okay, so that came from our D and an R. So this was our D distance, and this is our R rate. And we want to know her time. Then the time, or at least 2 miles, then the time has to be greater than or equal to that. And then we just need to divide those. So 2 divided by 4.2. 0.476190. It's pretty big. So I'm just going to round it to 0.48. So her time needs to be greater than or equal to 0.48 hours. So she needs to run for at least half an hour to reach her goal of running at least 2 miles. You would like to have at least a B average on your assignments. So far you have a 76, an 81, and a 75%. What will you need to get on your next assignment to have at least a B average on your assignments? So to find out an average, you would have to add and divide by a number, however many things you're adding. So let's take our 76 plus 81 plus 75 plus your next assignment. And we want to divide that by 4. And we want at least a B average. So that means that whatever you have here has to be greater than or equal to an 80, because that's a B. So now we're going to add these together just to make it a little more simplified. I'm going to collect like terms. 76 plus 81 is 157, and then 157 plus 75 is 232. So if we simplify that highlighted part, we get 232 plus a divided by 4 is greater than or equal to 80. Now, I need to multiply by 4 on both sides to get that 4 on the bottom to cancel, which is a little weird. We don't normally do that. But since it's in the denominator, we have to cancel it. So now we have 232 plus a, that's our assignment, our next assignment, is greater than or equal to 80 times 4 is 320. Then I just need to subtract 232 to figure out what I need to get on my next assignment. So that's going to be, I'm just going to bring it up here so you can see, the 232's cancel. We're left with a, that's our assignment, has to be greater than or equal to, had to borrow, I have to get an 88. So when I subtracted, I got 88. My next assignment has to be an 88 for me to have a B average on my assignments, or higher than that.